Okay, today's video is another top 10 list. I just did my top 10 One Piece moments of all time, the entirety of the series. Got another top 10 list today. This is going to be my top 10 Devil Fruit powers. Not objectively, this is not like the top 10 Devil Fruit powers in the whole show, not the top 10 strongest or anything like that. These are the top 10 powers in One Piece that I wish that I had. Were I to take a bite out of some delicious forbidden fruit, these are the powers that I would be hoping for, that I would be willing to sacrifice my ability to swim for. Obviously, number one is the jacket fruit. Oh dear, no. Coming in at number 10 is the pocket fruit. This is used by Whitebeard's man Flamenco, who I assume also likes to do a bit of flamenco. The pocket fruit, the ability to basically store unlimited pockets upon your person. Give yourself unlimited storage space. I've had plenty of days where I've been going around and I've been like, I've got my phone, I've got my keys, wallet, I've got my things that I'm just picking up, running out of space in my bag, I'm just carrying a bunch of stuff. Pockets are damn useful, and these pockets that this fruit grants are even more useful because these pockets do not take into account the size of things. Basically, you can have any size thing and it will shrink to fit the pocket in your person, and that's pretty damn useful if you ask me. The downside of this fruit, however, and the reason that I bumped it to the number 10 spot is because it does have sort of an aesthetic downside, which is, looking at Flamenco, the pockets are very much on his skin. He's got two big pockets on his chin, and maybe it's a bit of a superficial reason to not like this fruit as much. It's still such a useful ability. Got a TV recently. I could have, if I had pockets on, I could have just put the TV, the whole TV, into my pocket, and I wouldn't have had to carry it all the way home on the bus. So that's my number 10 pick, the pocket fruit. Very useful ability. A lot of these abilities that I'm picking are going to be more based on utility than strength or flashiness. I say that. There are some later down the list that are kind of flashy as well, but we'll get to that. What do I go for number 9? The barrier fruit, Bart's fruit. Oh my god, this is going to be one of the best fruits in the series. I don't think... Yeah, we've not seen anything penetrate Bart's barrier yet, have we? I think something did in Film Red, but Film Red isn't canon. In the actual canon of the series, I don't believe we've seen anything powerful enough to break Bart's barrier. Oh, I guess, didn't Odin got a little, close when, what's his name, the previous user of the fruit was using it to protect Orochi, and Odin was going at him, and Orochi was I'm fine, I'm behind the barrier, but then there was I don't think there was a crack, but there was a slight tremor in the barrier, and they were all oh shit. But I think that's more of a testament to the strength that Odin had rather than the weakness of the fruit. The fruit is, we've seen the fruit be incredibly powerful, incredibly versatile as well. It's not just the big shield wall that Bart can make, but he can do put a dome around himself, put domes around his fist and use them to fight good. Sometimes there are moments in life where you're something's coming at you and you're I don't want that thing to hit me. And to have the barrier ability, that would be pretty useful in that situation. I can recount several instances in PE in school when I was about to get hit by a cricket ball. I really wish I would have had the barrier ability back then. That would have been great for me. Okay, now I know I said that not all of these, most of these aren't going to be flashy ones. This one is an exception. This is the Rumble fruit, Eneru's fruit. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Lightning powers are cool. Lightning is cool. The ability to become lightning, it's super powerful, super flash, literally flashy, like a lightning flash. When we first meet Eneru and he's using it, he seems so unstoppable. I mean, to a certain extent still is. It is only the fact that Luffy being made of rubber is his natural counter that really put him on the back foot during Skypiea. I would like to assure everyone that my intentions with this fruit would be purer than Eneru's. I'm not gonna try and enslave a kingdom with this fruit and pretend to be a god. It also seems Eneru can use the lightning ability to kind of teleport, he'll lightning beam himself and then he'll zap around to a different location. So that's pretty cool. I guess that is kind of a downgrade of what Kizaru can do with the with the it's not what's it called, the Twinkle fruit, which I'm not putting on the list, although these two fruits are kind of similar in a way. But I'm going with the lightning fruit. I just think lightning's cool. Okay, now number 7. This almost feels like cheating putting this on the list, but it also feels like it would be weird not to. This is the Gum fruit. The fruit that Luffy has. The stretchy rubber fruit. Now I'm gonna say this. Even Even before the reveal of Luffy's fruit actually being a mythical Zoan, I still would have had this on the list. The ability to stretch, it's pretty cool, it's pretty useful. Like, say the remote's a little bit too far away, just stretch over and just get it. I go bouldering, it would be really useful occasionally if I could just stretch that little bit further to get that next handhold. In addition, if I were to fall off the wall, being made of rubber, pretty good defense against any kind of injury. When I was younger, I broke my arm. I've got a scar to prove it. If I was made of rubber, I would have just fallen off my bike, bounced right back up. So even without like the mythical Zoan aspect of it, even if it was just the Goma Goma no Mi, as everyone, or mostly everyone, thinks of it, even if it was just that, it's on the list. However, the fact that it is in fact the mythical Zoan Sun God Nika fruit, I mean, that's absolutely going on the list. That is an upgrade to the Pocket no Mi, because we've seen Luffy utilize hammer space while in his in Gear 5th. He pulls out a baseball bat during the Egghead battle, so where does he get that from? He just conjures it with his imagination. It is pretty limitless, the things you can do with this fruit. I almost want to put this fruit higher up, but it almost feels like cheating to put it higher up, And for number 6, now we're coming back pretty hard onto the utility aspect of it. This fruit has pretty much no combat abilities. It does have some sort of subterfuge abilities going on. It has an air of flashiness to it, but more than that, it is just supremely useful. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had like a day that is just stacked with like a few different events, and each of those events has got a different tone to it? Like maybe you got like a job interview for like a really like serious office job, and you've got that at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But it's your mate Dave's birthday that night, and then everyone's going out and they're going and getting a little bit wild. You want to be dressed up to go out and have a crazy night out as well. You've got no time between those two things to go home and get changed. So what do? Well, you simply put a little rock on your head, you put your hands together, and boom, instant costume change. That's right, we are talking about Kinemon's fruit, the Garb Garb fruit. Realizing it is somewhat insane that I'm putting the Garb Garb fruit above the Gum Gum fruit. Not many lists where those fruits would be that way around. Kinemon's fruit is, I think, a lot more useful and versatile than people tend to give it credit for, just because it doesn't really have much in the way of combat, like a lot of the other fruits do. But it works really well for the subterfuge, for the raid on Onigashima. The disguises being part of the Beast Pirates, they go down like super well, everyone falls for it. But even without needing to do any like kind of stealth mission, just the ability to quick change is so like useful. You can tell I'm a former theatre kid because this is what I'm thinking in terms of utility. Like if you're in a play and you're doing like multiple characters, or there's like a really quick turnaround for a scene transition, you don't have to run back down to the dressing room and put on your other costume and run back up. You can just do stone on your head, bang, poof, new outfit, here we go. Or if the weather turned as well, you could use it if the weather turned. Halfway through the day, you're out and about, suddenly, thunder, Enaru's doing something up there, the rain starts falling down, and you're like, I didn't bring a coat, didn't bring anything, uh-oh, not a problem, I can just stone on my head, and bam, I've got like a big, coat now, and I'm all safe from the rain. Just the more I think about it, the more like Kinemon's quick change ability, I really would like to have that fruit in real life. Yo-yoing back, that was like supreme utility. We're now going like full-on flashiness for the next one. I am picking the Flare Flare fruit. Ace's fruit, or formerly now Sabo's fruit. And my reasoning for this is pretty similar to the reason that I put the Rumble Rumble fruit on the list. It just looks so damn cool, man. Seeing Ace kicking ass in Alabasta, kicking ass when they free him from the platform at Marineford, briefly. Seeing Sabo use it and kicking ass in Dressrosa in the competition. Oh, it just looks so cool. It looks so flashy. Whenever I watched Avatar, I always, the faction that I power-wise wanted to be a part of, I've always thought, I'd really love to be a firebender if I could be one of the benders in Avatar. Another added benefit, as well as the sort of the more superficial, flashy aspect of it, which I will confess that I'll hold my hands up. That is the main reason it's on the list. But then another very good and more utility reason that this is on the list is because I bloody hate cold weather, right? I guess there's a few other fruits that would mellow out this, but when it gets to winter time, weather gets cold, my skin's like really sensitive to the cold. I get like all dry and cracked. It's horrible. But if I had the flare fruit, if I could just make flame, I could make like a ring of flame around me. I'd be like super warm all the time. I would never be too cold again. And that sounds like heaven to me. I will acknowledge I could have also put Oven's fruit, the heat fruit, or I could have also put Akainu's fruit in this slot for the same reasoning. Akainu's magma is, we know, like, provably stronger than Ace's fire. No way any of us are gonna forget that. But the reason Ace's fruit wins out in the end is just because it's just flashier than the other two, and also Akainu sucks, and Oven kind of sucks as well. Come on. Now remember how I was saying the Rumble fruit? Eneru seemed like he was able to zip around as part of the powers that the fruit grants him, similar to Kizaru, moving at the speed of light, or in Eneru's case, the speed of lightning. And of course, as when I was talking about Kinemon's fruit, I mentioned like if you have to go home and change it, it's going to add so much to your journey. That's always a pain when you've got to like double back on yourself when you're going somewhere. Do you know what gets rid of that problem entirely? The ability to teleport. The warp fruit currently used by Van Augur. We still don't quite know the full limits of the warp fruit. We've not seen it used that much, but it's, from what we have seen, it has quite a big range. Like he can go from a boat hovering outside the island to like the middle of the island in Egghead, right? So he can go pretty far within warp fruit. And I've always said, when it comes to like superpowers in general, like ignoring the power system in One Piece, just superpowers across the board, teleportation has always appealed to me. Like Nightcrawler's one of my favorite X-Men for all that very reason. Like, so useful to just imagine yourself in a place and then you're there. I have quite a long commute to work these days. I could sleep in a bit more. I could just wake up, get dressed, and teleport straight to where I need to be for work. Especially at the end of the day, where I've just done a full day of work. I'm tired as anything. I don't want to just do another bit of like travel before I can get home and like eat and rest up. No, I just want to like zap straight home and then I'm there, I'm home, and here I am. Depending on the range of it. Really gonna, save money on holiday expenses, right? If you can go like country to country, or in One Piece, like island to island, all those lofty airplane prices, not even a problem. You can just teleport straight there. So yeah, warp fruit, one of the best fruits in the series, one of the most appealing fruits to me. I want that fruit. I want that fruit so bad. Not as bad as the next three though. We're in my top three now. These are the big hitters. So as we all know, one of the main downsides, or perhaps the main downside of any Devil Fruit ability, is that you lose the ability to swim. Now there are several fruits in the show that also kind of counteract this, like Doflamingo. He can just like my friend Spider-Man here, he can use his strings to just whip along on the clouds. Pell, he can fly, so that he has no need to swim. He can also survive explosions, but that's a different thing. Aokiji, he can just make like an ice track along the thing and cycle over the water. So there's a few fruits that negate the swimming factor and make it really not that much of an issue. Several of these fruits are just the ability to fly. Really cool ability. But what would be cooler than just the ability to fly? The ability to be a big old flaming phoenix. Cue up the Fallout Boy, we are talking about Marco here. Not only does this man fly, but he flies with wings made of blue flame that heals people. Marco's just like got the works going on, right? He's super strong, he can fly, he looks flashy as anything, and just to reiterate, his flames can heal people. I'm quite an accident-prone person. Just recently, I was cutting up vegetables and I chopped my thumb. Like, if I could have just got a bit of healing flame, sizzle on that, would have healed up in seconds. I wouldn't have had to have a plaster on for like 2 weeks. The ability to heal is another of the best abilities out there. That is getting Marco into my number 3 spot. For my number 2 spot, that is going to be the OP no Mi, the OP fruit. Which, so many layers to that. Trafalgar Law's Devil Fruit, one of the coolest characters in the whole series. Probably my favorite non-Straw Hat character. From the moment he showed up, he just had like this energy about him. But aptly named the OP no Mi, standing for the Operation Fruit, although more accurately, definitely the overpowered fruit. So we're all on the same page with that, right? He can make these like domes, these rooms, his operation rooms, in which he can do pretty much anything. He basically becomes a reality warper inside those rooms. And point that he's at now, his area effect is like pretty big as well. He can separate just people's like body parts, he can like flip a shape up into the air, he can do all sorts of things. Not only that, but he can just take someone's heart out of them, swap it with another heart. He can just swap people's like souls around. That's pretty crazy. We only really see that happen in Punk Hazard. Pretty crazy like ability though. And then of course there's the whole like immortality aspect to the OP. That's not really like the most appealing part of the fruit to me, but worth mentioning that that is a part of the fruit. Like that fruit can, when used in a certain way, grant immortality to either the user or a chosen person to grant it to. Insanely powerful fruit. I always love in Shibandi Archipelago when like Law and Luffy and Kid like team up for the first time. They all use their powers. Kid does his like metal thing, Luffy does a big stretchy punch, and Law's there and he's got like, he's separated one of the heads of the marine and he's just like flipping it up like a ball and he just like comments like, "Oh, that sure is a crazy power you've got there, Straw Hat. You might have the weirdest power of any of us." Like, Law, what are you talking about? Then take a look at yourself right now. You have the weirdest power in this group. But yeah, for all of the above reasons, Law's fruit is the OP no Mi. That is the silver medalist on this list, and now it is time for the gold. That's right, it's Guild Tessero. He's my number one pick. My number one pick. And I am gonna go pretty bold with this statement. I am gonna say that this is definitively the best devil fruit in One Piece. The Hana no Mi, the flower fruit, the fruit that Nico Robin has. I feel like especially recently it's been kind of like underplayed just how like versatile and crazy powerful this fruit actually is. Robin's ability to, just on the baseline of her ability, like the ability to like spring hands and make like seemingly infinite hands like bloom from anywhere in her surroundings. Multiple hands, like when I'm cooking, it would be so useful to just have multiple hands. I could like chop up all the different vegetables all at once. It would look insane, it would look terrifying, but it would be so useful. And then of course it's not just hands. We see situations in the show where Robin can like make other parts of her. She can make an ear bloom on a wall or an eye. She can like spy on things, which is why she's one of the few who saw what actually went down with the nothing happened moment on Thriller Bark. In terms of like combat, the ability to like have hands sprout out of the enemy and just like snap them in half, crazy powerful. In Dressrosa, she makes all those like rope ladders out of her hands and all of her limbs and all of that. There's whatever's going on with like the Demonio power that we saw in Wano. She can make wings out of them. She can fly as well. She can make a big bridge of arms to get across a river to within like a certain range. That's really cool. Also, she can make clones of herself. She's trained her ability to the point that she can make like a full-on clone of herself that is convincing enough to trick like every time she's used it. There's a few abilities that can do this, but just because of all the other stuff, I'm gonna put Robin's as the best one of them. Recently on Elbaf, we saw her use the clone power against Summers, and it was so effective. She was able to trick a Holy Knight with this. So Robin can do all sorts of things. I really think people, especially in the post-time skip era, people seem to like downplay how much of a like asset Robin is, how like useful her Devil Fruit is. People complain that Robin didn't really get as much to do in like Dressrosa and some of the more recent arcs, and people are like, well, Robin's not a fighter, she's an archaeologist. People I think are forgetting that Robin was one of the main threats back when she was a villain in Alabasta. Like, Robin is crazy powerful. Yes, like her main thing is being an archaeologist and like studying the histories and everything, but also she is a crazy powerful fighter as well. Like, Robin is fantastic. Robin is super powerful and super cool, and her Devil Fruit is super useful, possibly the most useful of the whole series. So all of that is why Robin is one of my favorite characters, and why Robin's Fruit is my number one pick for the Devil Fruit that I wish that I had. There you go, those are my picks. Those are my top 10 Devil Fruits that I wish that I could have in real life. Let me know in the comments what yours are. Any on mine that you agree with, any that you think that I forgot about, and what are you that you're like, I can't believe you didn't mention this one. Put your picks down there, let's all go crazy. What powers do we want? So now it's time for the moment of truth. I'm going to take a bite out of this here fruit, and let's see what I get. But alright, that's it for this video, so thank you all so much for watching. Do remember to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.